Okay, we are live on the Mobile Mailbox Money channel. Let's start the meeting and see what kind of deals we can do today, possibly what kind of contacts we can meet, and talk about opportunity. So just so everyone is aware, this will go live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. I'll let Sunny kind of start the meeting here today.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sunny Finkel, and I am the Investor Relations Specialist for Mobile Mailbox Money. I also do loan compliance coordinating for Win Mobile Homes. I am previously licensed as a realtor and mortgage broker in the state of Florida, where I work remotely. And I'm happy to answer any of your questions or help you go through any of the information or help you do your due diligence on any of the offerings that we have. I also answer the chat live on our website. So if you ever want to catch up with me there, you can. It's definitely a live agent. It's not AI. Or you can reach me from the office line or on my mobile. And I'm happy to help you with any of the deals that we have active, or if you just have a question, I'm always there to help.
We also have our special guest here today, Miss Brandwin Boyle. Brandwin, if you could just maybe introduce yourself for the people that don't know you here today.
Sure. Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me. I'm Brandwin Boyle. I am the Chief Marketing Officer at Gerasi LLP, and I am one of the heads of marketing for the conference line for Gerasi LLP, which has been around for a hot minute, but now we're launching some new conferences for everybody in the real estate and brokering and private lending space. I've been in private lending specifically with marketing for the last 7 years, and I've worked for some lenders you probably recognize the name of. And prior to that, I was in entertainment PR and marketing. And I've, not to put a date on it, but I've probably been in marketing now for about 16, 17 years. So yeah, long enough to know where Facebook is, about that long.
Love it. Well, this is Mobile Mailbox Money. This is our mastermind that we do weekly. I actually just shared this across 75 different Facebook groups. So we'll see what additional individuals will join today. We have some of our investors on the line, as well as talk about some deal flow, fund investing, and the 2 events that Gerasi Law Firm has coming up in February. So let's just kick it off with that real quick. Brandwin is with Gerasi, like she said, and in February they have 2 events. We'll actually have a booth over there with some cameras and getting a feel about who comes in the door. But Brandwin, maybe you could just kind of detail a little bit about the events and why someone should attend.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to. And we're very excited to have you guys there. So Anthony Gerasi and Gerasi Events has been around for a very long time. If anybody's ever attended one in the last 12 years, we had events called, we had events called Innovate, Captivate, which were largely educational based. The 2 new ones, which are called Elevate and Activate. He has a theme going on with the names, obviously. Elevate and Activate, which kick off in Vegas next month. I can't believe it's 30 days away. Sweating. It's crunch time. But we're really excited about Elevate mostly, which happens first. That is going to be at Caesar's Palace starting on February 24th. And this one is a little bit new, as we don't typically cater to the, hey, I want to learn how to sling hard money. And now we are. Over the last 15 years, we've catered to those that are very savvy in this space, well-known national and multinational private lenders. And now we're kind of taking it back a beat and realizing that there's a lot more people, not just brokers, but real estate investors, people in real estate, people who are getting their feet wet even in real estate, that are like, hey, I have a little bit of money. What do I do to start making interest on this and step away from commission-only life? So Elevate is going to be specifically that. It's going to be for those newer in the industry, maybe lenders who are novice, maybe people who are like, I kind of am a broker, but I want to learn how to lend more money. How do I do REITs? How do I learn on combining my money with others to form a trust? So the first event is going to be great. It's going to be all education. We've got some star-studded keynote speakers. Molly Bloom will be there. Ironic to have her in Vegas, I feel, for those of you that know Molly Bloom's story and what she did to the casinos. But also,
And real,
we're
real
going to
quick,
have
sorry to
James
cut you
Lawrence.
off. If you're not
Sure.
speaking, if you could just mute your mic, we got a little delay going.
Oh, do we? There you go. Better? Is that better for me? Oh, I can hear myself. We have James Lawrence coming to that one. I'm excited about. For those of you who don't know, he's the Iron Cowboy. And he's going to be talking about, he actually was a mortgage broker. A lot of people don't know that. He worked in mortgage for 20 years before he decided to be in extreme sports and kind of life coaching. He's fantastic. So we're excited about that. And then the second one, which is back to back, you just leave that one and go right into the second event, which will be at the Win. It's called Activate. And that's for your really seasoned private lenders, more seasoned brokers, but also, you know, hey, if you want to meet those people, come meet those people. They're happy to share their education. They're happy to share what you need to do in order to set up deals with them or how to work with them as an investor. So really looking forward to it. If anybody who's on this call would like to attend, we can kind of get you a discounted ticket through Alden, through the Silvercrest Group and Win Mobile Homes also. He has that ability. So let's do that for you. If you'd like to come, we'd love to have you there.
Awesome.
Yeah, so coming up here real quick, it's important to get out and meet other individuals in the industry. You know, Brandon, how did we come to meet each other? Where did we meet at? You know, how did that happen? You know, what event did we meet at?
We were at the American Lending Conference, the ALC, Matt Rosen's event in Vegas, ironically. When are we not in Vegas? We were at ALC, and this was just a few months back. This wasn't that long, or maybe it was the fall. I guess it was October. That feels not long ago. But, you know, we met, started rapping, and now we've got this huge mesh network of things that we're going to be doing together. And I would love to do that with more brands. If you're someone who's like, hey, how do we get involved? How do we get our brand name out there? I am known to cut a deal or two to get you the visibility you need. So let me know. But yeah, getting yourself at events, I cannot tell you enough. You know, it's so funny. I think people think that all these people who go to college, it was the degree that got them where they are. No, it's not. It's their network. It's who they met while they were there. It has nothing to do with the degree. That's just a box you check. It has to do with the networking and the people you meet. Nepotism is alive and well, but also just networking. I can't tell you how many more deals people close over handshakes and lunch than they do over, you know, pitching. Setting up meetings is lovely, but being able to actually meet with people, see them eye to eye, get to know the person, it still goes farther than any AI hack trick you got in the box. So,
you know, business is done in relationships at the end of the day. And how do you cultivate relationships? You get out and rub shoulders, you know,
Totally.
with other seasoned individuals in the industry, maybe people you want to ultimately do business with. I'll probably be at that event. You know, it's a mass congregation of people all wanting the same things at the same time. So, you know, coming up here in February, at American Lending Conference, we actually shot a couple of interviews and stuff at the conference. I didn't know Anthony Gerasi at the time, but when I was interviewing Matt, Anthony happened to be in the environment. So we came over to y'all's booth and introduced ourselves, and, you know, so she wrote. So happy to have you here today. If you're on this Zoom, you're likely on our email platform, and you'll receive emails regarding the event if you haven't already. So make sure to either check your spam or, you know, anything of that accord. So, you know, why are we even here today on the Mobile Mailbox Money Mastermind? There's a need for agreed upon returns out in the market, and less volatility perceived from what's going on with volatility in the stock market, as well as pressurized residential real estate pricing and high interest rates. You know, it's not that easy to just buy and cash flow right now. So, you know, for us, Sonny, as we have developed our mastermind, you know, why would someone join here, and, you know, what kind of can they expect from our meeting today?
Well, not everybody understands about notes and how they work, and not everybody understands about what the best ways to do due diligence are, you know, what we look for when we buy and sell, how we vet our borrowers and our investors, and just free information on how to do this correctly and successfully, and transparency on our part, show you that we are willing to guide you through that in a way that's successful for all of us. long run.
I think it's a challenge as maybe an uneducated individual to navigate investments of this nature. And, to have legal is of utmost importance, to lean on individuals that know what they're talking about out in the industry. As well as once you get that education, to parlay marketing and attending these events, that's how you really start to scale a private lending and a note investment strategy at the end of the day. So let's kind of jump into the meeting here. That's a little house cleaning. That's a must attend event in February. If you're interested, please don't hesitate to send a message in the chat. We are interactive throughout this meeting today. We just have coming up as well the Arizona Real Estate Investors Association. That's second Monday of every month. Brandon would love to introduce y'all to Mike Del Pre. Azria, second Monday of the month, actually has about 200 people that come in and out of the meeting. So great deal flow, great utility in one's tool belt, for all walks of investor. So I'm going to share my screen here real quick. Okay, perfect. So let's kind of orient here and we'll kind of jump into our deal flow. What's going on with Win Mobile Homes, Mobile Mailbox Money, and Silvercrest Opportunity Fund? Let's see if I can do this correctly. All right. So this was a note that was actually detailed within our email marketing. This property is a established asset out in the Mesa market. I actually bought this from a contact at the Arizona Real Estate Investors Association, and now it's performing. They actually have a 5-year rental component within this performing asset. Their qualifications were a little bit less, so they didn't fit a full seller finance component, but they wanted to move in. They had great income. I think, Sonny, you processed this paperwork. Maybe you could just kind of detail a little bit about this property, the note, and why it's an opportunity for someone.
Yeah, I mean, both borrowers make a solid high figure income, and they just have a few challenges on their credit that they can clean up with time. So getting them, to put down the down payment, which is not far off of what it would cost them for a down payment to move into an apartment. They move into the home and they become a seasoned note, person where they're making the payments on time. They're showing that they have the ability to pay. And then eventually we convert them from a renter to a buyer.
And that's a first lien at $110,000. That monthly payment on 110, say for a 1-year term, collateralized by the first lien. Let me just grab out my calculator real quick. At $110,000 for a first lien position at a monthly distribution. Whoops, messed that up. Give me a moment here. That monthly payment's $916 a month on $110,000 as a first lien. So performing asset in the Mesa market. This actually includes the land. If you're familiar with our strategy, we've cultivated off of primarily personal property manufactured housing in the Arizona market. So this one's kind of case unique. It came from a highly referred contact. We got now a qualified performing long-term renter, right? They did qualify. HOA in this park's like, I think $20 a month or something crazy. So at $110,000, that could potentially be an asset for you today. This note is available. And, if that's something you're interested in. Does anyone have any questions quickly? Kind of painted over a couple topics. The chat is open as we go through what we have coming available. So feel free to interact with Sonny on there. Let's talk about another deal. This home is a classic fix and flip that we have being cultivated out in the Arizona market. I think it's a 3-2-4-2. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath that we own as Win Mobile Homes. Win Mobile Homes is the largest dealer of manufactured housing in Arizona, license 8670. So we're a D8 dealer under the Department of Housing. This property is in a highly desired family manufactured home community that's institutionally owned. So the park owns the land, the homeowner owns the home, right? And we arbitrage that with our seller finance note that'll match or beat market rent with a combined monthly payment for the home payment and the lot rent. Lot rent in this park's about $950. The potential exit is $125. So they'll pay around $2,200 a month with lot rent, the home payment, annual estimated insurance and taxes on a property just like this. Look, I mean, we went in and rehabbed the property, did laminate flooring, new cabinets, granite, checked all the electrical and plumbing, and did a brand new vanity, looks like, as well as some tile backsplash in the showers. So this property, it would be under our first right of refusal construction loan note program, where it provides a collateralized lender the opportunity to extend credit on a property like this in exchange for a first lien position at 125 and 75% of value. You know, what is that? Let me just pull out my calculator. 125,000 times 0.75 is 93,750. At 93,750, you get a collateralized lending opportunity where you participate in the success of this pro forma home. We have now got it to a turnkey property, and once we sell it, 9 times out of 10 we sell on seller finance, which goes through a double round of underwriting, right, to facilitate Dodd-Frank compliance for a seller finance strategy. So I kind of talked about a bunch right there. As we exit this property, our lender will get the first right of refusal of the note that will inadvertently come available via seller carry finance. That buyer will put, say, a $10,000 down payment towards the balance of 122.5. And if you don't have yourself a mortgage calculator, do yourself a service and download Carl's mortgage calculator, how to check on reverse, calculate what a potential return on investment could look like. But say it's 125. At 125 with 10K down on a 20-year term, that monthly payment for 20 years is $1,430 a month. So you could participate as your first right of refusal execution once we sell this property and own this note within your portfolio. A note investment provides an individual to borrow against that asset, you know, or sell potential partials on that, depending on, you know, what your expertise is within the industry. Not everyone's a conventional note investor. Oh, I don't know how to exit a note. I've never gotten legal from Gerasi Law Firm and figured all of that out. You know, that provides someone the opportunity to hitch their cart to a qualified operator at a 1-year term, and we participate together via hypothecation. One note, one investor, and we pledge that note in order to garnish capital investment and participate on an annualized basis. So after the 1 year comes up and we have hypothecated that note to the investor, it's now performing as a seller finance first lien position. At that point, we say, hey, congratulations, you were receiving your monthly payments at a double-digit yield. And would you like to exit? Auto rollover gets kind of nimble in that accord. So you could buy this whole note. You could lend on the construction of the note of this property, and it happens to be turnkey right now. Or you could acquire a hypothecated position, which means to pledge an asset in order to garnish capital investment. And we had a couple other people join just in now, so I appreciate you being here today. Just wanted to acknowledge you joining. So we just went over lot 132. That's a double
Alvin,
wide.
Can we go back to that one for just 1 second?
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention that at the beginning of the conversation about this property, you said this is a classic fix and flip. And I just want to say that that is not even really a thing that could even describe what we do on our flips. There is no builder grade. There is no lipstick on a pig. The The dedicated crews that we have are doing really top-notch upgrades to these properties. Like you said, granite countertops, new cabinets, stainless appliances, front-end loading washer and dryer. The flooring is gorgeous. If you show the picture of the bathroom again, the double vanities with the granite countertop sinks, this is not your typical fix and flip. This is a really beautifully upgraded home to the top of standards for anything like that.
You know, great points. We're not just some schmo operator. You know, we're a real deal operation here in the Arizona market, licensed, bonded, and insured. Have 15 in rehab, 7 in sales, 5 in management. So, you know, great to throw a little color on that, Sonny. So let's just keep going here. Let's see. All right, that's lot 132. Lot number 9 in Apache Junction. This is in a 55 and older community in Apache Junction. Has a lot rent of, I think, around 700, so a little bit lower than market lot rent. What's market lot rent in the Arizona area? It's about $900, which is pretty stable throughout the Arizona market. Some are starting to inch over 1,000. So we try to, you know, provide some wider variety. So we happened to pick this property up as a low lot rent, 2-bed, 1-bath, manufactured home in an institutionally owned community. It's actually a gated park, and so she wrote. So we have this property fully rehabbed. Our traditional rehabs are pretty much the same across every property, and that's why people kind of shop with us. The end user wise, because they know that we do laminate, check the electrical and plumbing, new cabinets and granite, appliance packages, central AC units are all customary on every one of the seller finance transactions that we do. And why is that important for an investor to understand? This isn't your grandmother's mobile home. At the end of the day, this is not some piece of trash in Trailer Park Boys Netflix series. This is quality collateral with deserving underwritten borrowers and a licensed mortgage officer to originate that note, creating bank quality positions, as well as a feel-good investment strategy. I'm creating homeowners here with every dollar that we facilitate towards this transaction. So as a 2-1, you know, what does this potential look like in the Arizona market? So let me just kind of look at what the price was. It's $47,900. At $40,000, an investor could participate and ultimately get a first lien on this property. $40,000 at a monthly distribution of $333 a month. So for $333 a month, you participate in a collateral just like this in the Arizona market. I think we got a possible question in the chat. Feel free to speak aloud or send a message if you like. Mr. Madison.
Hi, Alden. Can you go back a little bit and speak about the benefits that you provide with these type of home situations, the benefits to the home buyer itself? How you are able to help that market of homeowners?
You know, the challenge here in the Arizona market is that residential pricing has gotten to such an unaffordable component. You know, that combined with where interest rates are, where's the give? Where does an average income earning family or 55 and older individual that's looking for active retirement find affordable housing in a market like this? The answer is non-existent, actually, because of labor and material pricing out builders from building an affordable multifamily component. That's out the window. You can only put so many ADUs down in the valley. You know, how many eligible properties are available to do so? And the cost ends up being astronomical. With rental rates now, the same 2-bed, 2-bath when I was in high school was $700 a month. I think it was maybe $500. What's the rental rate now for an average 2-bed, 2-bath apartment here in the Arizona market? It's likely $2,000 a month to $1,850, maybe $1,750 in some other areas. with a increase in rental rates, increase in residential pricing, as well as the combination with this increase in interest rates over the past couple years, where's an individual to go? It's in manufactured housing, with 10% of the housing stock in the nation is already on a lot in an institutionally owned park. And there's really not that many companies providing a turnkey seller financed component for them to achieve affordable home ownership. And that was kind of a weaving explanation of why a homeowner would deem this a saving grace at the end of the day, not only here in Arizona, but we've been eyeing some other markets as well. So great question. There's a
how about the access to resort style amenities? How expensive of a home do you really have to buy in a regular residential community to get pickleball courts and indoor outdoor pools and spas and barbershop and restaurant and ball fields and all golf courses and all that? What do you have to spend and what price point to live in a community that has those amenities?
I mean, average purchase prices in the Arizona market exceeded 400,000 a little while ago. We've seen some depreciation. So we're probably at like 375, something like that, as the average purchase price in the Arizona market. Just to qualify for, say, a $300,000 loan on a property here on the Arizona market, you'd have to make likely $80,000 a year with no debt. The average income in Arizona is 60,000. So where's that individual end up gravitating to? And now with the new institutional appetite into the communities, it's lifting the quality of these communities as well as the homes. And with our strategic alignment with those parks, as they increase quality, we buy a home and increase the value of that case specific property. So full alignment and in affordable housing. Let's kind of continue here down the road. So we got lot number 9, like I was saying, $333 a month, $40,000 first lien position. You could execute a first right of refusal on that property when it's seller finances. Why would a homeowner take seller financing when they could get a 9% loan from 21st Mortgage? Well, not everyone falls within the concrete criteria to facilitate financing. As well as, did you know there's only 2 lenders that we've ever converted with? Maybe 3 in 8 years of doing business out of 350 transactions and $15 million in manufactured housing. It's 3 companies, right? And if they fall outside of that strict criteria, or the lender doesn't work with that specific park, or the home itself disqualifies it from even being financeable within their blanket restrictions, where's that individual to go? It's a seller finance component that solves that issue. And I think it was about 5 years ago, we started delving more into the seller finance strategy because we saw the opportunity, figured out how to properly originate a note, use a licensed mortgage officer, use third-party underwriting to do this all legally, because it's of utmost importance to be above board. So let's continue down the road. We got lot number 69. This property actually just sold, I think today, from a contact of mine in Business Network International. It's the largest networking referral group in the nation. We're, I think, top maybe 5 in the nation. We did about $11 million in collective closed business from that group. It's actually at 11:15 on Wednesdays at Orange Tree Golf Course every Wednesday. So if you're in town or want to come visit and see the room, there's 90 other business professionals that meet weekly. We've received about $3 million, and thank you for closed business in our 4 years of that membership. So strategically aligned with Business Network International, Arizona Real Estate Investors Association, and even Jurassic being here today with Brandwin. So this property just sold. It's a virtually remanufactured unit. This property we bought as a 1973, and if you look at the house from the exterior, it looks virtually brand new. What did we do on this property? We did brand new T111, went down to the studs, new roof, new windows, new laminate flooring, new granite, new cabinets, electrical, plumbing, literally probably more remanufactured than anyone's done in the nation. I'd love to talk to someone else doing these large of rehabs, because it's cool to kind of talk about. But this 4-bed, 2-bath off Kyrene and Baseline in Cal-Am Properties, Chaparral Village. So we've done about 25 fix and flip exit via seller finance in this community alone with our alignment with Cal-Am Properties. So as this 4-bed, 2-bath sold at a price of $122,500, the buyer put a $20,000 down payment, almost close to a 20% down component at $102,500 with double vanities. You see here, that note actually got absorbed into my fund, which is Silvercrest Opportunity Fund, at $102,500 for a 20-year term. That hold on, give me real quick. That monthly payment's $1,274.61. So my fund absorbed this position, right? One of 25 that I have within my portfolio. And my investor earns a 10% return for a 1-year term, a 12% return for a 3-year term, or a 14% return for a 5-year term upon review of the deal disclosure private placement memorandum via Reg D 506C accredited investment only. So as this was absorbed into my fund, I seek capital to participate as a passive strategy through the fund as a bank quality position, likely close to a 20% down payment on this property, and virtually remanufactured. Why is all that important? Well, it's a quality home in a desirable area with ample equity cushion within the first lien position. And my fund guarantees the position. So you get your agreed upon return and become the bank with Silvercrest Opportunity Fund. So those are a couple of the deals that we have. I have just a few more. I'm going to open it up real quick. Does anyone have any questions? This is as involved or uninvolved as you'd like. As I say every week, you know, these deals are live and literally available. That was 200,000 in potential positions available. So depending on what kind of capital that you're dealing with, what kind of liquidity, whether it's an IRA, solo 401k, or really just personal investment, you know, that may be a position for you. These are all found via mobile mailbox money. What is mobile mailbox money? Well, with Win Mobile Homes being the largest dealer of manufactured housing, we had to figure out how to market our notes. So I think it was 4 or 5 years ago, I attended Paper Source Real Estate Note Conference and made the page Mobile Mailbox Money, mobile home mailbox money, marketed seller finance notes. So that provides an individual to stay up to date with what we have going on. And if you've joined this meeting here today, you're likely already on the email list. Silvercrest Opportunity Fund, I lightly detailed what that was within the pitch today, but Silvercrest is a Reg D 506C accredited investment fund, and we have our official partnership with Arizona Real Estate Investors Association. If you view our website, the credit strategies tab actually goes into detail a little bit more of the strategy, you know, what we deem an opportunity and why we're raising $50 million for a strategy as you've seen here today. We also have some other strategies that we have developed over the years. And recently, if you've attended maybe last week or the week before, you know that Jason comes on and we talk about potential of second lien lending, where the sufficient equity cushion provides us the potential risk mitigated long-term second lien lending component at a high rate of return, as well as our co-living strategy. You know, co-living's big, as I detailed the need for affordable rentals, affordable housing in the Valley. So we're developing actually some pad splits in the Tempe market right now. We turned a 5-bedroom to a 12-bedroom because it had some additional housing in the back of the home. But, you know, from a $600,000 acquisition to $250,000 in rehab, that should pro forma net an investor 10% at a $2.3 million valuation, 2.4. So, you know, that will likely go into the fund. So as we develop our strategy, we'll be offering seasoned investors the availability to participate outside the stock market in collateralized lending, in seller finance notes, affordable housing, co-living in the Arizona market, as well as some potential rental programs. This home is actually a 2-1 brand new that we bought at $50,000 below market value. We bought 12 of these from an institution by the name of Legacy Concepts. They own, I think, 50 mobile home parks around the nation. But we acquired 12 never been lived in manufactured homes in the West Valley. These 12 homes will likely go either seller finance or rent, right? And there's current leverage on these properties, but why am I even talking about them? Well, you could facilitate a potential rental strategy on 1 or up to 12 of these homes where you cash flow with less for more. What do I mean by that? So in manufactured housing, your cost per door is $49.9 with no banks, right? Where can you buy the potential rental want for return on investment for $50,000 with no banks in the nation? It might be non-existent. So these 12 2-1s, I'll just kind of look at the photos here real quick, have a rental comp of about $1,500 to $1,600 a month, maybe a little bit less if you're trying to get them rented quicker. We understand the market and market pricing's comparable in the area, but as a $1,500 rental, say $1,500, the lot rent's about $950. So I'll just kind of pull out my calculator real quick and tell you what the arbitrage of that is and kind of maybe what rate of return it looks like. So $950 lot rent, $1,500 rent. You're at a $550 potential arbitrage of the lot rent and your rental strategy on a home just like this for $50,000, $49.9. At $49.9, making $550 a month, you're making over a 12% return, kind of ballpark estimate on $50,000. What if you wanted to buy this seller finance? That's an interesting concept, buying a rental seller finance. What does that look like? Well, with 10% down on $49.9, what's your monthly payment? Let's check it out real quick. As an investor loan via seller finance at $49.9 with a $5,000 down payment, that's $558 a month. So you're about, is that right? So within the first year, you get your $5,000 potential back on that asset, and it's in your debt service. So you could buy a few of these with $5,000, maybe $10,000 down to reduce your monthly payment. All areas of potential opportunity. So what did I talk about? You could buy these for cash and get all of your cash back, or 10% return potential, 10 to 12 annually on a rental strategy. You could buy these potential for seller finance. Maybe you wanted some depreciation within your portfolio. You could depreciate these as you develop your strategy, all areas of opportunity. But as homes that are brand new, never been lived in, your maintenance is going to be that much lower than buying something used, as well as the demand for absorption in the Arizona market. This will likely sell or rent very soon. So those are a few of the deals we have. We're here at 1:40. Does anyone have any questions? We've got I noticed the other day, our video count on YouTube's 921 videos over, I think it was 4 years ago. I don't really know many other people with 921 videos online. So if you'd like to go back over the years and see how we've developed this strategy, the best way to do that is watch our vlogs. I've been vlogging at national note investment conferences such as Diversified Mortgage Expo. We had the Note Expo, Paper Source, Paper Trail. We've also attended Arizona Real Estate Investors Association, the American Lending Conference, as well as prior to that, developing the note strategy, meeting with individuals like, individuals like SEC arbitrators at Arizona Real Estate Investors Association, other note investment educators like Patrick Franz and Desi Arnaz of the Note Investor University. The list kind of goes on of our adjacents branding, and literally all caught on camera. We met Jason and Todd actually at Diversified Mortgage Expo after our breakout room. No, it was a panel. So James, my partner, James Guajardo, was actually on a panel talking about some bad deals and some good deals of the development of potential risk out in the market, as well as some good deals. And individuals approached us, Jason and Todd, and within him exiting the panel, you can actually see us meet them within that vlog. So, I'm just kind of telling you a little bit more about that because the want for transparency. People do business with the individuals they know, like, and trust. Repertoire can only go so far. How good you are can only go so far. How good your legal is can only go so far. You need people to know, like, and trust you out in the market. And that's why we do these masterminds. These are free literally every week. And we have tremendous amount of items online. Sunny just put her contacts within the Zoom messenger here. Brandwin, I'd invite you to do the same. If you can, if you can include your information, that way, if someone kind of wants to reach out to you, maybe they want to sponsor the event, or maybe they want to, maybe too late for that, but for the next one, or maybe just wants some independent access to what's going on, she just put her email within the chat here. Thanks so much for that, Brandwin. I call for individuals that are really just looking to start participating and are tired of non-agreed upon returns, tired of volatility, tired of low yield stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. And this is really it, so I appreciate each and every one of you being here today. Does anyone have any final thoughts, questions, concerns? The Gerasi event, who can I contact for investment? So depending on what kind of investor you are, Sonny, could be happy to field your questions, Mr. Franzese. Hopefully I said that correctly. But that could yield what you're looking for. So happy to continue the relationship. This is every week, 1:00 Thursday, Thursday Mountain Standard Time. It's the same link that you've received. If you haven't had the chance and don't see what you like on our websites, you can call us today at 602-888-2274. If you want to see our homes, finished product, 50 homes in our inventory at winmobilehomes.com. We got some hearts going off in the chat, so it looks like some people got some big value here today. That's extremely important. You can go and buy some big education. You can go attend, some events, but really, what kind of value did you get? And hopefully we provided that to you today. So we appreciate each and every one of you being here today. Today's brought to you by our accredited investment fund, Silvercrest Opportunity Fund. That's a 506C Reg D accredited investor offering, providing 10% return for a 1-year term paid monthly, 12% return for a 3-year term paid quarterly, or a 14% return for a 5-year term paid monthly. Investing like Warren Buffett. So we appreciate you being here today. Brandwin, Gerasi, big love. We'll see you at the event. And everyone have a great day.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Boom. So that's what they call value. I'm Alden Guajardo. I'm president of Silvercrest Opportunity Fund, vice president of sales and marketing for Win Mobile Homes, and founder of Mobile Mailbox Money. We've done $15 million in private investment into manufactured housing. Why would someone participate in manufactured housing? You know, if you didn't watch before, it's the biggest need in the nation, and nobody's delving into the strategy deeper, I think, than we are in the nation. So if you're interested, don't hesitate to reach out. We appreciate you viewing today. See you next week. Bam.